History made over the weekend in Melbourne. Madison Keys with the triumphant win at the Australian Open to claim the first Grand Slam title of her career. She took down top-seeded and two-time defending champ Aryna Sabalenka in 3 sets, a fitting end to what was a remarkable run for Keys, who last played in a Grand Slam final back at the 2017 U.S. Open. The tale of the tape is an accomplishment after accomplishment from down under. She beat the 2-seed Iga Swiatek in the semis and became the first in 16 years to beat the top 2 seeds in a major. 5 of her 7 matches went 3 sets. It was just grueling tennis from beginning to end, that persistence paying off in her 46th Grand Slam appearance. We gave her flowers, and now we're joined by Madison Keys. Madison, thank you for waking up and going through the car wash with us. I know you're fresh off of making your return to the States from Australia. I know it has to have been a whirlwind since then. But when I say Madison Keys, the 2025 Australian Open champion, like, what feelings does that bring about for you?
It's honestly just amazing. The kind of just the whole journey that I've had so far to get to this point and to be able to be back in a Grand Slam final and then to win it the way that I did, it's just, I mean, it's absolutely incredible, and I'm still kind of trying to believe it.
Does it feel like what you thought it would feel like whenever you let yourself have the opportunity to picture winning a Grand Slam now that it's here and it's really reality?
I think when I was younger, I kind of always thought, yeah, I can win one. And I would always say that, but I don't know if I ever fully believed it. But this tournament and, you know, every single round, winning some really tough matches against some really great opponents, I just really, to my core, believed that I could absolutely be holding that trophy on Saturday. And to be able to do that at this point in my career and through kind of all of the ups and the downs, I just, you know, really happy and really proud of myself.
Yeah, when you talk about those ups and downs, I know you've been really vocal about mentioning mentally how important it was for you to get to a spot where you would say, hey, it's okay if you don't ever win a Grand Slam. How difficult was it, like, throughout that process to get to a spot in your mind where you could think that, and what made you come to that realization?
I honestly think that I don't even know if when I kind of started the process of talking to a therapist and really starting to kind of work through some of those feelings that I was having, I don't even know if I actually knew that they had kind of become beliefs where I felt like I needed to win a Grand Slam in order to look back at my career and feel like I lived up to my potential, or that my career wasn't a failure. And I felt like I had to get really honest with myself, and I had to be okay with being uncomfortable and not always kind of being the bubbly version of myself that I like to be. And once I was able to do that, I got to a point where I actually truly was really okay with never holding a Grand Slam trophy. I had a lot to be proud of in my career, and I had finally gotten to the point where I actually really believe that to my core. And I think once I was able to do that, I finally gave myself the freedom to play and actually compete to win one.
What changes in your game then at that spot when you can, in your mind, say, okay, it's okay if I don't win this? Like, how does that free you up?
I think for me, it was more so it gave me the ability to stay a lot more present in matches. I felt like in the past, things could get a little bit tough, and it was almost as if I was watching myself from above, and it was like my brain and my body weren't connected. So things were happening in matches, and I felt like I couldn't problem solve. I would get really nervous, and it was like as soon as the nerves hit, I would almost start panicking and thinking, okay, well, now I'm not going to play well because I'm nervous. So it finally got to the point where I was able to know that I can be nervous and I can still play really good tennis at the same time. And once I started really believing that, I was able to actually be really present. And especially now when we have on-court coaching, being able to actually have conversations with your support team on the side, I think it just really kind of helps stay in the moment.
That tennis that you played in Australia, I mean, you can just look at who you faced along the way, from not even just Sabalenka and Swiatek, but Danielle Collins, and the list goes on and on. When you see everyone that you had to go up against, does that make this even more special, knowing the gauntlet you went through?
It's definitely one of the toughest draws that I've ever had to go through. And I'm really glad that I didn't look at the draw before the tournament. I think that may have gotten a little bit daunting, but it's definitely, it just adds a little bit of icing on the cake, the way that I was able to do it and to play so many 3-set matches and have so many tough opponents. It's really just kind of, you know, a fairy tale story.
So now your story goes from the 2017 U.S. Open disappointment in that final to now you are a Grand Slam title winner. Are you ready to make it 2 in a row and take the French in a few months?
That's definitely the goal. I feel like now I at least kind of know what to expect, and I know all of the work that it takes just to even put yourself in that position. And I think there's definitely going to be a learning curve of how do you back that up, and since I've never done that. So I'm really looking forward to the challenge.
Hope you get to enjoy it along the way, and certainly we will see when you get down here to South Florida for the Miami Open. But Madison Keys, Australian Open champion, thank you so much. Enjoy the morning and enjoy the celebration that comes along with it.
Thank you.
Keys, of course, now as an Australian Open champion, can check that off of the list. We mentioned that 2017 U.S. Open where she fell in the finals, but now with that French Open, the next Grand Slam to come up, she's been a semifinalist in that one. We'll try to top that and win the crown there as well.